Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, welcome to New Life Live, and so glad you're with us. If you want to join us on the phone, we'll talk to you. We talk to anybody, even you, 1-800-229-3000. Joining me today, Dr. Jim Burns and Dr. Jill Hubbard, and so glad to be able to do radio with these two great folks. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, good to be with all of you.
Same here, and we are coming off of Easter weekend. Mm-hmm. I went to church, took family to church to a place called Traders Point. One of the best sermons I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I couldn't even, it was amazing. You couldn't be an atheist when you walk after he got through that sermon. I'm just telling you, it was, well, you could be an atheist, but you'd be stupid. So it was so great. I hope everybody gets to hear a message like that. In fact, you could go to Traders Point and click on whatever the message was last week and you'd hear it yourself. Anyway, a lot of people together, Easter, maybe it wasn't so Christ-centered after you left church. And some people are disappointed, they're sad. Why is it so hard just to be a family these days? What do you think?
Well, I think even happy occasions bring up feelings, right? Like weddings are really stressful, even though they're really happy. They rate very high on the stress level. Family things, we remember old hurts. When we go back with family, we tend to regress. We tend to go back into old roles. And so I think people can be hypersensitive when they've had wounds and hurts.
Yeah, and we tend to go back to negative emotional family patterns. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy because maybe we're not even living it, and then the family comes together and we go back into those patterns.
Right.
So part of the job is for us to, you're either going to, I came from a dysfunctional family, you're either going to
recover,
or repeat.
Like the rest of us didn't?
Sure. But, you either recover or you repeat.
Yeah,
and so I think you make a decision to recover, and that's part of the process. It's a lifelong process. And people are trying to do that with, as Steve said, we do Easter sometimes without Christ. I don't know how you do healthy family without Christ because of the grace and the mercy and the strength and the comfort that he gives us. Yeah.
Right.
I totally agree. And, wherever you are in your family situation, if you're stuck, there's always hope. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't have to stay stuck. There are things that the Bible says, and we've taken those things, tried to develop them, whether it's through a book or a video or whatever, how to get unstuck. And so often, like at Easter, maybe somebody in the family had this brilliant idea. Well, you know what? I'm going to clarify all that over Easter lunch, or I'm going to make my point. And that's not the place to do it. No, go ahead.
Well, I think also it highlights people who are missing from the table, right? Yeah, we had a loss this last year, and so it's so bittersweet, right? You're reminded of that, and sometimes it's harder for some family members.
Right, and when we have loss, a lot of us don't know how to grieve. I know there are times that I haven't done that well. And loss could obviously be from a brokenness, a divorce or whatever, or it could be death. And both need the energy you've got to put into grieving.
We need to be grace-filled for ourselves and others. And I think one of the problems is in the family, we think we're entitled to tell people what they need to hear in our family rather than offer them grace and understanding. We'll give you some grace and understanding if you call us 1-800-229-3000. And we're going to be here for 2 hours. And we will not be bored nor boring. That's our commitment to you. 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom online workshop is Saturday, April 15th. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jackie Mack-Harris will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Jill, you are the author of The Secrets Women Keep, Secrets Young Women Keep, Forgiving Our Fathers and Mothers. Did I cover most of them?
Or all of them.
Jim, your latest is Doing Life with our adult children or your adult children?
Your adult children. Keep your mouth shut, the welcome mat out.
Yeah, all right. Those are available at newlife.com or 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now, also, we had Henry Cloud on, and he's got a new book called Trust. And if you give a gift of any amount, we will send you this brand new, great, it's already a bestseller, book on trust. And the subtitle, I don't have it in front of me right now, but it is longer than any other subtitle. It's like trust, how to give it, how to take it back, how to ruin it, how to destroy it, eat it up, all this kind of stuff. Every kind of trust, it's there. But we love Henry. He was on. And
it was very fun to have him here.
Yeah. So his book, Trust. Some of you need to not read his book. You need to be trustworthy. And, hey, reading the book will help you be more of that. Other people, you think or you say you can trust somebody. You know what you really are? You're wishing you could trust somebody because that's easy. But then it's not because they're not trustworthy. All right, here we go. We are now going to the calls, 1-800-229-3000. And I'm going to talk to Rita, Irvine, California, listening on KKLA. Rita, how are you today? And what in the world's going on with you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you, Steve.
Good. I'm glad that you're good and fine. Thank you for being there.
I'm okay. Yes, I'm okay. I am not really that good. Otherwise, I wouldn't call.
Okay.
True.
Let's hear about it.
Yes, I have issues for as long as I'm married. But right now, this is pushing because I feel like I don't know what to do with my 12-year-old son.
Okay.
He always just wanted to be with his friends and just want to play until 5 p.m. and then come home to eat dinner. And then he doesn't want me to sign him up with any activity, any like basketball or tennis or volleyball. He even jumped out from the car. I just want him to have these things so that he has the ability to join club when he goes to high school, and he has his identity, and to increase his confidence, and so that he is not so desperate for friends.
All right, let me interrupt you here just a second. Because let me just interrupt you. I'm not a genius, but if you're taking your son to an activity and he wants to jump out of the car, that's probably not the activity that's going to turn his life around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so often we want a child to be part of a team. That's a great thing. They don't want to be part of a team. So you have to buy them videos on chess or something that they can do by themselves. But Jill,
I'm
you have a
also
different take.
hearing you're wanting him to go to activities, which I agree. Some organized activities are really healthy for kids.
Sure.
But because you want him to be able to socialize and have friends, but he's objecting because he wants to hang out with his friends. So I'm not hearing that he has an issue making friends. And sometimes we can over push activities to where
Right.
it's too much. Kids need some downtime. It's kind of the old-fashioned way. Now, you want enough in place so they're not just loitering around and getting into trouble, right? That they have something. But you
Right.
want to try to expose them to things and find what they're passionate about, not just force
Right.
another thing that they have to do.
Right. We don't have any activities that he's doing right now.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the question for
so-
us, or what would you like us to help you with?
He doesn't have any activities, and I just want him to have 1 or 2 activities, so that he's not so desperate. Yeah, I'm not so sure what I'm doing is correct either. That is why I'm calling you.
Yeah, okay.
And why do you get the sense that he's desperate?
Because every day he's searching who can play today, and when I say today, let's increase your math ability, or let's just get organized on your backpack, and he will just sit there and get mad because I feel that that he needs to be able to calm down and get his life organized a little bit.
Right, but
Before
Mom,
he goes
those
out
are
and
not
play.
fun activities.
No.
Increasing your
Correct.
math ability or organizing your backpack. I don't think that's what he's desperate to do.
No, I mean, just do that for half an hour, then you go out and play.
Okay.
And he wouldn't do that. He just get out and he just sit there and get mad.
Where's Dad in all this? What's his role?
That is another huge problem that I'm having. That is, he is a hoarder. He's always locking himself in the room with a lot of buckets and boxes that I started to move out from that room.
Okay.
And so because I cannot sleep in that situation. But there were times that when I go out to do something, to see somebody, the children were at home. He said that he cut his fingers, and then he and his brother knocked on that door, and that just wouldn't open. And the kid says that we need to take out that lock because that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So what
Okay.
I'm seeing is that because there's no leadership, there's nobody that he's fear of, there's nobody that we all respect to, that causing me all these problems.
All right. So what you want us to help you with what? What's the big issue, the question? And then I'm going to let Jim to weigh in here. Yeah.
Okay, can I just say, Rita, I'm so sorry. You sound very alone in all of this.
Yeah, really.
And that is a really hard place to be. You're wanting to do right by your son, and because you want to have hope for him.
I do have my older son is kind of on my side, and
Okay.
last night he burst out in tears, and asking Dad, "What have you done for us?" And so he also feels bad for his younger brother because his younger brother doesn't have anything that he can be proud of to do. Even though my older son is blind,
Okay.
he's doing wrestling, and he's
All right.
very happy.
Okay, so we're going to have to bring this to a close and give you some really good help. And so, Jim, you've heard all this. What do you think?
Well, I think you have to kind of pick this apart a little bit. So I'm going to for the moment, I'm going to put Dad aside, even though Dad is a major part of this, of course.
Probably the biggest
Yes,
problem.
but I'm going to take kind of sometimes I like to take the easier side. So here's a phrase. My background is youth ministry, and so I know 12-year-olds, and 12-year-olds do need to be motivated sometimes. But here's the principle: kids support what they help create. So he wants to be with friends. I would first of all find out if any of those friends have any activities, and it doesn't matter what activity. I mean, I laughed that Steve said chess, but if one of his friends plays chess, then sign him up for chess. If one of the friends plays basketball, whatever it might be, okay. But let him be a part of this. Say, look, in our family, we're going to choose one activity, and let's do it with your friends. So who's a friend that you could join the team with, and to be honest, and if he would be willing to do that, Now, remember, he's 12, so if he says no, he's not in charge. You're in charge. So you may have to push on that. I don't want him to be jumping out of the car, but that is a key thing. Friends are key at 12. Before, they were more tied into family. Your son was, and all of our kids who are younger. And at about 12, they start moving into what we call peer pressure, or what I like to say, the pressure to conform, but also there's negative peer pressure, but there's positive peer influence. So this is where, it might, your church, there's a lot of great church. We happen to be, Jill and I are in a studio right next to you, and we're not in Irvine, but we're right next to you. So we know these churches. There's some great churches for 12-year-olds, great churches, if you're not a part of one. But also, I would say have him support, put the line out there. What's he like to do when he goes out and plays with his friends? What does he do? And whatever that is, there's probably a team sport for it, or at least something like that. So that's just on the practical side.
And to say, I want you to be with your friends.
Yeah.
So let's find out what your friends are doing.
Right. Do any of those friends have any activities that they're going off to that you know of, Rita?
Let's see.
He says that I need to go home in half an hour. So then I ask, where are you going? And then he says he goes to piano class, and he also has basketball class. And I have been asking, okay, let's go with Santa to go to the basketball or piano, and he just doesn't want to. He says that he'll just play basketball with Santa, and then he just doesn't really tie up with his friends. But each one of his friends has his own activity, even though some of them really hated it, but they still go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this, my wife wanted our daughter to play volleyball. That was her thing. I wanted our daughter to play soccer because that's what I was used to with Madeline. Our daughter didn't want to play any of those. And so where is she now? Well, let's see. She goes to the School of Rock. She's a drummer. She's a singer. And she plays the flute. She's going to be in the band next year. So all of our, pointing her toward the athletic type group team thing, it was our mistake. It wasn't that she didn't want to do great things. It just wasn't in that particular area. And now it's so much fun for us to see what she's doing. So what we're saying is find out what those kids could enjoy the most and put them in that and let them go to that. And I am a big advocate of not letting kids just do nothing. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's good, but you've got to really help them be creative to find whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, kind of getting together in that social environment if it's healthy. Find out what they want and lead them to that.
Even if you start with just saying we're going to do one activity.
Yeah, right.
Right? And so
Exactly.
let's look at what all your friends are doing. What do you like the best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, when you're 12, you also say, well, my friend who's been in basketball for the year, he's a lot better. Or my friend who's in the band, they know how to play the clarinet and I don't, or whatever. So, you have to understand that your son may feel that he's at a disadvantage because he's not as good as the others because he doesn't know how to play the game.
Yeah, is he afraid?
Yeah.
Does he feel insecure?
Yeah. And I also think, I'm looking at Big Brother. And again, we haven't even dealt with Dad.
Right.
But I'm thinking that Big Brother might be able to be a positive influence for him too, because it sounds like he might respect, your older son, and maybe you and your older son could be in on that conversation if Dad's unwilling to take the leadership that he should be doing. He shouldn't have a locked door. I'll just tell you that right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we need to get Dad stepping up here.
Right,
Getting
and
involved.
Rita, your husband is a huge problem, and your son is watching this, right? Dad's lack of motivation, Dad's hiding out, withdrawal, not being involved. Those are not good things, and so
Not at all.
I think it's important to lean into that and figure out how to do it differently, whether it's removing the lock, whether it's asking him to leave because he's not being part of a family and a marriage.
Jim, what's a book that you've written you think would be really good to help in this situation?
I have a book called Understanding Your Teen, and I loved that book. I wrote it after my kids were teens because I realized how hard it was to be a parent of a teen. But at 12, your son, Rita, is a teen. a teenager. I mean, it used to be defined 13 to 18. Nobody defines it like that now. They define it like, in fact, in Great Britain, where I did my PhD work, it was 10 to 24. It's legal there. So at 12, he's thinking teens, and you want to be in preparation for it. You got to learn how to parent differently a 12-year-old than you did a 10-year-old. It just is the way it is. It's a new phase.
By the way, 12 is the new 14. So you just have to look at it that way.
Right.
Maybe even 15.
Right.
I have a 13-year-old daughter. People think she's in college. I mean, it's just bizarre the way kids grow up and mature quickly.
Yeah.
1-800-229-3000. Don't forget, a gift of any amount. Henry Cloud's new book, Trust. It is a brilliant book. I love that book. And you will gain a lot of insight, even if it's just who to trust and how to determine maybe not trust that person.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
The Every Man's Battle Workshop is being held online as a one-day event Saturday, May 13th. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEWLIFE.
I've been listening to New Life for many years, gone to a few workshops. I want to support a ministry that helps people connect with God and with others and gives them the tools to help transform their lives.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Healing, 100 Days from Freedom from Shame, and 100 Days of Freedom from Anger. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. I have the official subtitle of Henry's book. Trust is the title. Knowing when to give it, when to withhold it, how to earn it, and how to fix it when it gets broken. Now, that's a great subtitle. I think it's subtitle of the year.
It's good that the title's short.
Anyway, it's a great, great book. And you support us, gift of any amount, we're going to get that book to you. The more you give to get that book, the more insight you'll get from the book. It's just a principle of the universe. Maybe not. Anyway, we want you to have it. You call us, and we'll be grateful, and we'll send it to you. All right, let's go to Donna, Rapid City, South Dakota, KPGN. Donna, hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing well, Steve. Thank you. And you?
I'm doing all right today, yeah. So how can we help?
I am turning 60 this year. I'm a divorced, single at this point. My parents are in their are in their 80s, and particularly my father's health is declining rapidly. The problem that I have is that I had a narcissistic mother. She and I have been at loggerheads for quite a few years now. My father has appealed to me for help with her, but his only solution is for me to sit there and take whatever abuse that she dishes out like he does.
Now, let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you,
Yes.
Why do you say she's a narcissist? What leads you to believe that
She,
mom is a narcissist?
It's all about her. It's always all about her. She lies an awful lot. In fact, that's what triggered our last fight 4 years ago. She came at me with a lie, and I called her on it. And both she and my dad feel like that it was inappropriate because she is mom, and that title, has all of the religious and spiritual and God connotations of respect that I was raised with. So I finally had separated myself because I wasn't, it's a long list, so I'm not going to get into it. You can ask whatever
I just want to ask you one more question.
It.
I want to ask you one more question about mom.
Mm-hmm.
When a person is a narcissist, we usually say that is like a compensating way of living from a very deep wound that they're maybe not even talking about or fully aware of. When you look at her life as she was growing up, any insight into some deep hurt or horrible thing or just the way that she was raised that would lead her to narcissism?
Not that I'm aware of. Her parents were very strict preachers in an obscure old church. I say it was one step to the right of the Amish, and that was about it. They had electricity and running water, but a lot of it was right in there. She has gone on from that to preacher's wife, and she was most angry when my dad finally stepped down as a preacher. She did not want to give that role up at all.
Okay, so what's the question for us then? How are you wanting us to help?
Dad has appealed for me for help with her, but his only feeling for me to help with her is to just simply sit there and take whatever she dishes. She's very demeaning. She always has been, and very shaming with me. She tells me what I think whenever I contradict her.
Okay, so let's just get this clear.
So he's wanting, Donna, he's wanting a buffer and a break.
Correct. That is correct.
So he's wanting help, but then he's dictating the help.
Correct.
Okay.
And you know what to say when he says, I want you to just take whatever she's saying and not do anything else, but just listen and take it. You know what to say to that, right?
I told him I will not abuse.
No.
Yeah, I won't take the abuse anymore, right?
Right. No, I'm not going to do that.
And he says, right, and he said, I have to have peace in my house, so leave, and I've separated myself, but then he still keeps appealing back because she's effectively driving him crazy.
All right, so what is it that you want us to help you with today?
Is it, other than yes or no, is there another possible gray area that I haven't thought of?
I do think there is.
Okay.
I think it's you, him, and mom sitting down and having a conversation. And it might last 30 seconds. But if she's a narcissist and the two of you sit down and you begin by asking about her, what she's feeling, what she's going through, you may get the opportunity to help her think about something like her impact on other people or how it feels when she says certain things. But I would try a conversation, a three-way conversation. Then if it doesn't work out, you're always able to say, you know, Mom, we tried to talk to you about this, and you wouldn't have it. So that's one thing. I don't know how effective it would be, but that's an option. What do you think, Jill, Jim?
I like the idea of first you have to address her because everything is all about her. She has to feel like you're wanting to see her and understand her first before she'll be open.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Jim, you have a final little thing here before we go to the break?
Donna, 40 is the new 60. So at 40, you would want to talk with a coach and get some help on this. And so I would make sure that you're in good counseling and coaching. Somebody can coach you through this, and it's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be perfect at the end. But the truth is we can't do it without some wisdom from somebody who sees this all the time and who understands narcissism. And jump in that. Jump into a counseling situation. Say, what do you think? We can talk to you for a few moments, but a counselor can help you work through some of that and even some of the therapy that you're going to need in this process.
1-800-229-3000. We'll be back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and I just want to mention this. At the break, we were talking about, if this woman and her father sat down with the narcissist mother and said, we just want to talk to you for a minute. Then the first time she says something that isn't nice, like, you guys are stupid. Let's just say she says that. Well, you just don't let that go. You say, well, wait a second. Hold on. Let's just think about what you just said. You just said we're stupid. Now, Mom, have you ever thought about what it's like to feel stupid? Probably haven't. It doesn't feel good, and it doesn't feel good to be told that you're stupid. Do you understand? And so you ask her, do you understand that? I mean, you just interrupt this tirade of insults and stuff by taking every one of them apart. Then she says, well, you don't really understand. Now, Mom, just think about that. Here you are saying, we don't understand. Well, do you understand us? I mean, that can really get a narcissist.
And you do it very calmly, like you're doing it.
That's right.
Right.
And that can get a narcissist to start to think, not in front of you, but after you leave, they start to think, wow, now that was really different. That was interesting. And it might initiate some kind of change, but you'd have to do it over and over and over again. That's such a better approach than just accepting this person is a self-obsessed narcissist and there's nothing I can do about it. Yes, there is something you can do about it. You can protest when they start throwing that stuff at you. Mm-hmm. Speaking of protest, I protest every time Larry Sonnenberg cannot be with us here in the studio. Larry, how are you today?
Doing good, Steve. Thank you so much.
Good. What do you have for us today, Larry?
Well, it's a double-barrel shotgun. Number one is we need support.
Why?
Support has dwindled the last 6 months probably.
Yeah.
Folks I think they have bought into fear. I know the economy and the inflation and all is not good, and banks have failed, and it's not that there might not be reason to do some things a little differently, but the extent to which our income has dropped has been a little frightening for us. So we're working on that, and one of the ways we can work on it is just to put it out there and say, folks, we need your help above and beyond typical.
Well, especially if you relate to the fact that you quit or lowered your giving because of fear.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's going to be okay. The reason I know it's going to be okay is it's always okay. Stuff we worried about 2 years ago, we don't even remember what it was. We thought, oh, that was horrible. But it's going to be okay. The question is, do you allow fear to control you, or does your faith take control of the fear? And if so, show that you are not so afraid that you stop doing the things that you know are good things and continue to do them even in the face of fear. Because, you know, courage is acting even though you're scared to death. You do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, no matter what. What else you have, Larry?
Well, just in that context, and then I want to give you a testimony. The sense, I just lost my thought. I'll give it to you later. Here's a testimony. Here's a testimony. This just came in the mail today.
Okay.
This is about emotional freedom, because we're doing that workshop this Saturday.
Yeah.
Online. You folks can be there. Listen to this. I was so afraid to ask for help. I'd been dealing with grief and many past griefs. I felt confused and helpless. God answered my cry in a big way. I was given the opportunity to attend Emotional Freedom. New Life blessed me with a scholarship, and I was able to attend. I struggle with debt and addiction to spending, among other things. I was looking for more serenity, more peace, a closer relationship with God, and stability. I got all this. I got this because of the generosity and love that New Life brings into my life. The friendship, caring, and growth I received during Emotional Freedom will stay with me for the rest of my life. The healing and freedom I received is immeasurable, and I thank God for this opportunity to be in Emotional Freedom and what New Life has done for me. I thank Him every day. My heart was heavy, and now it's light. And this is not just from last week or last month. This was from a couple years back. So this is try it. It made the test of time, and it makes a difference. Folks, you can experience something just like this. It just takes a phone call to 800 New Life. Tell them what you're struggling with, that you want to come. We gave this lady a scholarship, and we can help you if money is an issue. So reach out to us. Let us help you. Thank you, everybody who is supporting New Life in any way. I guess the thing I was going to say that I lost the thought was, it's an interesting spot that we're in, Steve, and you know this, and I think we share this feeling. Mm-hmm. We have a peace about this, even though it's a challenge, and we know God will come through in some way or another. And it's not a sense of having an expectation. There's just an expectancy that Holy Spirit's going to work and do something. And we're looking forward to see what that is. So Thank you if you can be a part of it.
And the tragedy is when we go off of a station, most likely we will never be back on that station. It's real estate that other people want. And so if you can help us stay on the air, it really is a great thing, because this is our most extensive ministry. It's how we reach the most people. And it's just very sad when we have to go off in a certain area. We don't want that. Call us. We'll send you Henry's book as our way of saying thank you. But we really do need your help. Anything else you want to add to this, Larry?
Just thank you for everybody who has been giving and will continue to give. God bless you.
Absolutely. All right. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, if you can help us. That is the number to call. We'd love to get your help. All right. Let's go. How about we go over here to Leanne from Fort Worth, Texas, KWRD. There. Hi, Leanne. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great. You know, I have fond memories. I went to seminary there in Fort Worth. Wonderful time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
how can we help?
I've actually got my friend on the phone that I was calling about. And I'm going to let her word it.
Okay.
Basically, I have
be right out in a minute. So I have complex PTSD. I was, from a very young age, about age 2 is the first time I saw something like my mom get raped. And around 4, I developed asthma, and my mom didn't believe in medicine or doctors, so she would put me in a room, and I didn't have food or water or anyone in there with me. And I would crawl out after so many days and learn to walk again. And the loneliness of my lungs would quit working, and I would think I was dying. And I couldn't sleep because of the physical effort it took to breathe in and breathe out. And I could hear everybody else living and snoring and, whatever. And we were physically abused a lot with, like, chains and cords and hung in trees and thrown off of bridges and, just all kinds of abuse. And so this was chronic, and she didn't believe in physical affection either. So chronic from, young to grown. And so when I had children, I developed this intense fear of sickness and illness because every time I got sick, I had this episode with my lungs. I'd be put away, and feel like I was dying. And I worked through it. With Joni, my friend here, she's been my friend since we were 15, and my husband, I had a good husband, would try to balance my thoughts I knew were wrong with theirs. And so successfully was able to have children, have a wonderful childhood, all of that. My mom showed up at my house 3.5 years ago in a very almost like demonic state. She had a lot of really bad stuff wrong with her. She said she was dying, and it was very intense, and it was surprising. It scared my kids. And the next morning I went into shock, and I don't remember about 6 weeks of my life from then on. I was very catatonic, out of it, trying to flee. They ended up taking me different places and putting me on Zoloft. I was on 25 milligrams. And then and I couldn't eat, could not eat at all.
Okay.
I would have to put food in my mouth and just swallow
All
it.
right.
And then,
so how are you wanting us to help you today?
okay, so I'm having another episode of it, and it started in January when my daughter went into the hospital, one of my daughters, and it won't stop. This is the second time this has happened since I had the break. And once my body gets triggered for this fight or flight, it's like it doesn't know how to stop. It just I feel like I'm back there again, and I'm running, and I'm scared, and I'm anxious, and I can't eat. I can't eat, but I don't want to.
So the question for us would be what? What specific question do you have for us?
What is your suggestion for somebody that has complex PTSD like that?
All right.
For the hyperarousal, the adrenaline, all of that.
We can help you with that, and we're going to right after we get back from this break. 1-800-229-3000. We're here another hour and 15 minutes with Jim and Jill and Steve and you. 1-800-229-3000.
My husband was involved with a pornography addiction.
He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is being held online Saturday, June 10th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Dr. Jim Burns, Dr. Jill Hubbard, and we were talking at the break, and Jill had this thought, and I wanted her to share it with you, and so Jill.
Well,
please.
Leanne, we were talking about, first of all, how articulate you are about your situation. And man, you have been through a lot. And the fact that you've come through it, you've been able to be married and have kids is wonderful. But it is true that later in life, things can resurge again, especially with exposure to past trauma, because our bodies are like, oh, we recognize this, and no, not again. And so your body's going into overdrive to protect you and shut it down. Even if the threat isn't as great, parts of your body and your primitive brain do not understand that. So I can't imagine, Leanne, that you haven't been already in intensive therapy over the years. And I know...
Okay,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, she had to hang up. This is her friend. I'll have her listen to that. She has been in therapy recently. She's a therapist herself.
Okay.
A very successful one. She does EMDR trauma therapy, and she's been successful because of the trauma she's been through. And that's probably why she's articulate, because she's educated in it too.
Got you.
But why would she call us then? I'm just curious.
Because right now she's kind of feeling desperate because she can't get the flight or fight to stop.
Okay.
She's tried EMDR. She's tried something new somebody told her about tapping. She's done that.
Yep.
It helped her mind calm down, but her body went like crazy, like she's on caffeine or speed or something.
Mm-hmm. So then she's got to, during times where things resurge, she's got to go back to what worked before. Right? And she's got to be in with a psychiatrist. She's got to be in with a therapist. Right? And she's got to do grounding exercises and be with people like you who help her with reality. Right?
Yes.
And so she's got to wade through that. Maybe she has to do some group work again. And I know she may feel like she's already done all that, but this is, we circle back around and there are new pockets. And sometimes with this kind of trauma, people have to be in therapy often lifelong, right? And I'm happy that
she's devoted this summer to trying to face it and be healed. Like she's working on her doctorate right now. She's taking off over the summer to get as much intense therapy. We have another psychiatrist appointment on Friday to try to. What happened was she would get off. She would try to wean herself off the medicine. She'd have another episode.
So why would she go off the medication?
Because of another belief when she was young, medicine's bad. You'll become addicted, or it's not good. So we have to try to encourage her. No, stay on your medicine.
Right. So see, this is where
needs more whenever she gets bad.
Right.
Whenever it gets bad.
Yeah.
So even no matter how much you know, when it comes to your own trauma and issues, you need other people to speak the things that you know to be true, but to speak them into your life.
And then the best thing she's got going for is this friend right here.
Yes.
Walking alongside.
Yeah.
That's the good thing.
But you need to add what I call containers or buckets until she is contained. And that's in the form of help, right? Different types of help. And lots of people have to be on medication lifelong. And so that may be something she's going to have to stop protesting and come to terms with and see that was also a lie.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm going to send you a copy. Well, let's see. What could we send?
I think Forgiving Our Fathers and Mothers, because
that's
her mother
is
the person that is extremely abusive.
We'll send that. Now, I've got time for one short call. I'll go to Sharon, Baltimore City. The rest of you hold on. We're going to do another program after this. Wava is the station. Sharon, you're on. Don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get to your call. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I got a couple questions.
Okay.
One, I appreciate all the good advice you all are giving, which is awesome. I wish I would have had that back in my day. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. I do believe that we have to to retrain our brain of thinking, because when you're used to one way, you don't know how to adjust to the times has changed.
Yeah.
So when I became a Christian, besides praying and asking the Lord to guide me in the way He needs me to go, He shows me little things. This is what I needed to start with. So then when He showed me this way, I said, no, let me do it this way. Then I always ask, what is His will? Show me the way to go.
Yeah.
That's how I got through the bad times.
Great.
I mean, me personally, I don't have a degree. I'm not educated like that. But I have also a lot of knowledge, which when a person's been through a lot of trauma, I learned how not to dwell on it. That was my habit. I kept dwelling on it. And once you retrain your brain and focus on something else, I'm not saying it's going to go away. I said if you focus on something else, then that will also help you, because believe me, honey, I got a prayer bench and I'm on my knees every night.
Oh, see, now that shows that you care about what God says, not just from His Word, but what God is wanting you to understand, and you most likely have a great gift of discernment. I think the problem comes when others try that, and then it all falls apart. They can't even focus, they can't hear, and they're frustrated. And that's where a really good Christian counselor comes in and says, well, here, let's take this apart and figure out what the problem is, and then they get to experience what you're experiencing. I wish it was easier. Now, we don't have much time here, but I wanted to say this. I wanted to say thank you to all of our callers and listeners for their part in us becoming Radio Program of the Year, as awarded by the National Religious Broadcaster. In our 35th year of ministry, this program would have never made it this long without you, and we're so grateful for that. Thanks for your support. I think we got the award because they wanted to give me something before I died. And so I think that's so nice, turning 70 here. But no, it's just a great honor. And we'll go to NRB this year and accept that award. And again, thank you for your part in making it that. You know, Philippians 1:3 says, every time I think of you, I give thanks to my God. And I am so grateful that we have listeners like you and supporters like you. I am truly humbled and grateful for everything that you do for New Life. Now, I'm hoping that you're going to join us this Saturday, April 15th, for Emotional Freedom. Actually, that's not this Saturday, is it? It's next Saturday. Is that right? This Saturday?
It's
next Saturday.
Yeah,
15th.
next week. This Saturday.
Next week.
This
Saturday. Okay. I'm having a hard time with numbers.
Yeah.
Recent. Okay. So it's this Saturday. Then Every Man's Battle is May 13th online, and Restore is online June the 10th, and then Intimacy and Marriage in person in Washington, D.C. But Emotional Freedom is online, and there are things we can help you overcome, ways to get unstuck if you'll trust us and become part of that. You can sign up 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. I want to encourage you to every day start your day in God's Word and by saying words with God in prayer and in God's Word. People talk about, well, you know, I wrote the book, Every Believer's Thought Life. And people talk about, how do I get my thought life under control? Hey, establish your thought life for the day with God's truth and God's presence in prayer. In the meantime, we're going to see you next time. If you want to join us right now for the next program, 1-800-229-3000. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jill. Thanks to all of you.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.